where you been and where you going. This is Ari's travel show, yeah. We're gonna talk about travel today. It's You Be Trippin, yeah.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Be Trippin. That's the name of the podcast. Pretty good name, right?
Yeah, You Be Trippin.
You Be Trippin.
Hey, that's actually pretty clever.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah, I might do a
It took me a
fucking...
second. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. We're tripping.
Yeah, I'm here with Zane Jarecke, somebody I met in my writing class in Paris, France. We're at a hostel. They don't call them youth hostels anymore, do they?
Couldn't tell you. Just hostel, I think. And especially this one.
Yeah, it's not
Not
youth.
youth hostel.
Bring it closer to your mouth.
I mean, there is some youth in here.
Yeah, nobody calls them youth hostels anymore, do they?
No, I haven't heard that term in a while. Like,
Yeah.
I hear like guys like you talking about it. I'm like, youth hostel? Is that the same as a hostel?
I think it's the same as a hostel. I had that same question when I started.
Okay.
It was like, I don't want a youth hostel. I just want a hostel. And they're like,
Right.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I think it was because anyone
there
over
an
26 did not go to a hostel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, youth hostel, is that like boys? Is that like young?
That could get interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, just hostel.
Yeah, it is.
Come on.
So where are we going today, Zane? Where are you taking us?
We're going to Morocco.
Hell yes.
North Africa.
Going to Morocco. North Africa.
Africa.
What brought you there?
I was there a couple years ago.
Oh.
I didn't tell you this. I was there with my dad a couple
Yeah.
years ago, and previously I was just going through all of Europe. Mm-hmm. And then my dad's like, "Let's bounce down to Morocco."
Chill, cool.
And we bounced down, and it was a cold splash in the face of like, okay, this is completely different than everything I've just been experiencing in Europe for a while. And it's right there. I mean, from Spain, you can take a ferry over.
It's right across. It's closer than...
It's like right there. You can see over the Strait of Gibraltar. You can see Morocco from Spain.
Whoa, interesting. Okay.
And there's a cool cafe on the side of Morocco. So Tangier is the closest town. It's like the port town of Morocco. And there's a really famous cafe where, like, you know, the poets, the beat guys, Burqas, the Rolling Stones were there. And it's a cafe built into the side of this cliff overlooking the Strait of Gibraltar. And on a clear day, you see Spain. And they bring you like mint tea there because they drink mint tea instead of coffee mostly.
Does it have caffeine?
Yes, they throw some black tea in there. They throw a lot of sugar in there, but they also, in certain towns, not really in the south, but in the north, because that's where it grows, and it's a little more liberal in the north, they will bring you your mint tea and then like some joints, and you're like, I want
No fucking way.
one. Yeah, man. Oh yeah. It's awesome because they
That's
don't drink
great.
alcohol.
So, but you got to be a little fucked up. So
You got to
here.
do something.
Yeah.
You got to have a vice. And so it's like, okay, we're going to the cafe and we're smoking hash.
As easy as getting wine here.
Easier.
I mean,
Easier.
it's the same vibe.
Like,
Well, easier.
Easier. There was that, the Bourdain episode. He did an episode in Tangier. Mm-hmm. And he went to another cafe that's also famous. It wasn't like overlooking the strait, but it's same neighborhood, called Cafe Baba. Same deal, like all the artists rolled through decades ago when like Tangier was a big artist hub.
Oh.
And he never shows it, like shows himself smoking, but he shows like he has a scene of like they're making the hash, they have masks on, he does a whole like
And also, former like real cokehead.
Yeah,
There's
like-
no way you don't smoke
No,
a little
no.
hash.
Yeah.
He's just like, this isn't for CNN.
no. He does light stuff for him. But so I went to that cafe too. That's in Tangier, and they had his
cool.
pictures up on the wall. That was a cool place, but they screwed me on price. That's one of the things with the
What do you mean?
cafes. It's like you never know what in Morocco, in all of Morocco, you never have a set price on anything.
That's all bargaining?
All bargaining.
Whoa.
Like water in a shop could be $5, could be 20 cents like it should be, like what everybody else is paying.
Did you get used to talking them down? I'm sure at first you'd be like, what the fuck? And then just like, okay, here's
like
$5.
here, like that's kind of expensive.
But then eventually you'd be like, when I've been in places, eventually it's like, no, it's this. And they go, okay.
Yeah.
Because like we had to try.
Right. No, you definitely get your face ripped off. And that's like, that was the start to this trip was Marrakesh, which is South Morocco, famous for its souk.
That's
you walk through.
Okay.
That's like the.
That's what I
the
picture when I
movie.
picture Morocco.
Yes,
and I
like
told you
the
this before, like
spices.
when you want that monkey paw to like, I wish I could get out of here. And it goes like that.
Yeah.
And then you're suddenly in
have it.
Paris. They have monkey paws?
They've got monkey paws all over, man.
Wow.
As easy as finding wine here in Paris. Monkey paws.
How much is a monkey paw?
Couldn't tell you.
You're traveling. Like, I
Never-
got no room
never
for
went
monkey
shopping,
paw.
yeah.
If this is my last stop on the
You're
backpacking,
like,
maybe.
They let you through customs with a monkey paw?
I don't know. Good question.
Ferry. You could do the ferry thing. Probably take a monkey paw.
What's the ferry?
The ferry, like back into Spain. Then you're like, okay, now I'm in Europe and I got
Yeah, I
this
bought a
monkey
monkey
paw.
paw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be a good like hostel trick. Like, here's my monkey paw. No, but like in the souk, they have a big square there.
So you can't take us through. Make a wish, bro.
Make your wish.
Make a wish and let me take it.
They also have live monkeys right next to the snake charmers. Just like in the movies, they have like guys in like a semicircle around, call it a half a dozen cobras, playing their flutes.
Wow.
But the cobras aren't doing like they're not moving. They're like these things are coming out of like wiggling down, mimicking the voice.
Wait, do they have the flute thing?
They had the flute. They had the flute,
No.
but the cobras were more like just kind of like sitting there. Like at first you think you're fake, and then you walk up. You don't want to walk too close because then some guy will throw a snake around your neck and like, okay, we want some money now. Like take your picture.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That happens all the time. Same with monkeys. It's like if you walk close enough to the monkeys, you're gonna get a monkey on the shoulder. Like some guy is gonna throw a monkey on your shoulder. You're gonna be like, oh no, I don't want it. And then like you're like, oh, I kind of want to quick take a picture. And then it's like money. They're good.
Yeah.
They're good.
In Egypt, they'll do that where they'll be like, you're in a place and there's no picture signs everywhere. And then one of the guards is like, you want a picture? I'm like, yeah, okay. He's like, I'll take a picture.
secret.
And then give me money. And you're like, oh, I actually didn't really want a picture. At some point, you're like, no, I've been to better ones than this. And like, yeah, come on, take a picture. And then like, give me some cash. But it's only 20 cents.
Right. At the end of the day,
Yeah,
like
it's fine.
probably is worth it. Probably is worth it. Looks exotic. I'm with a snake. I'm with a cobra.
I told
I'm
everybody
with
goes to
Marrakesh.
Egypt. We'll stay. Okay, go ahead.
So the souk. Yeah. You have the snakes. You have there's hawks. Like desert hawks. You can like do this whole picture with it on the arm. And
Do they have food there and shit like that?
Yeah,
at the
of
shooks?
course.
Souks?
They got a lot of, like any place, they got the places on the tourist square where it's like, you're going to go in and you're going to pay $3 for an espresso, like anywhere else.
Okay.
And then they have the alley right off of that nobody goes down besides people that are working there. And it opens up into like a little courtyard that's a little more dimly lit with a little more trash. And you're like, 20 cents for an espresso.
Because like tourists don't go there.
Yeah, they just never. It's almost subconscious. They're all following each other. You just split off at some point, and you're like, okay, like this is calm. But the rest of the souk's a madhouse.
Do you usually do that where you're like, hey, there's too much going on. Let me find my own little area. Like here,
Right.
There's just cafes where it's like packed and it's everywhere, and then I'm like, nah. And then you like the small alleys or small streets. You're like, oh, this is more my vibe.
Totally. It's almost. Is it an ego thing? You're just like, I want to be the only
White. I
white
call 'em
guy.
whites.
Yeah, just whites. I want to
Yeah.
be the only white here. I don't know if that's what it is. Also, you gotta admit the financial part. Like, if
Sure.
I eat in that, like there was this girl in the hostel, and she kept talking about how she was so upset that everything in Morocco was more expensive than where she was living in the small town in Spain.
Okay.
And in my head, as she's telling the story, I'm like, really? Like, how cheap is this place? Because I ate a whole omelet spread with tea, a loaf of bread. Everything comes with a loaf of bread with your meals because they don't eat with
With that flat bread or
like
that
this one here, about this size.
risen or that flat?
No, it's kind of risen.
Okay, so
that
it's not like
flat
a-
one
it's
was
not-
only in the mountain. That picture I showed you. We'll get
Okay.
to that. The bread's killer there. There's a whole thing about the bread. Let's go into that.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah, they serve you your food and you get the bread, and because you take the bread with your right hand and that's how you eat the food. That's also a differentiator.
dipping it
Yeah,
up?
a little scoop, like pull the thumb down, 4-finger scoop.
Do you do the thing where you the thumb pushes it into your mouth?
Yeah. That's high level stuff.
Okay.
I don't know if I got there, but I did have. Yeah. There's ways like around the bread. There's different techniques. You can pull out the squishy stuff in the middle, only use the crust, like depending on what you like. But this girl, she was saying, she was really upset with the prices in Morocco, and I just couldn't wrap my head around it because I'm like, I ate that whole omelet spread.
You're like,
with the
what?
bread with the tea.
Yeah.
And I paid 12 dirhams, so it's 10 dirhams to $1. So I paid $1.20 for
Yes,
breakfast,
you're like,
for all those
where do
things.
you live in Spain that
Yeah,
it's less
I'm
than
like, I'm going
$1.20?
there next. And
You're like, sweet lady.
I'm like,
your town
yeah,
sounds
like,
awesome.
okay, I'm out of Morocco. Like, yeah, let me go save some shekels. And then I'm like, well, how much what'd you pay for dinner? And she's something like 30 or 40 euros. I'm like,
Oh my
30,
God.
So that's like 300 or 400 dirhams, and I spent 12 for a meal.
For a great meal.
For a great meal. Totally full. Totally full. And I'm like, well, where'd you eat? And she ate right in the square. But the funny thing is, my breakfast place was maybe 60 to 70 steps away from the front door of her place. But it just went down one alley.
Wow. Like if this was the main square,
Right.
you'd be like where that house is.
Yeah, like, you know,
Wow.
that black gate down there.
Yeah.
Like you just kind of walk and take a right where nobody's taking a right.
Wow. Yeah.
That's the cool thing about souks, because you kind of have the beaten, like tourists are all flowing this way. You know, take a left, take another left, and you're like, okay, this is where the locals eat, and this food's great. And you don't really know what you're ordering, but you just like, I'll have like whatever you guys serve.
Yeah.
You sit down, it's kind of a surprise.
Does any part of you go like, I shouldn't be eating this? Or does it take a few minutes, like not a few minutes, a few like days to be like, hey, I just trust? Because you didn't go straight to Morocco from Montana, did you?
No, I did a couple months with the shepherds in Sardinia.
So you've already gotten to the point of like just trusting whatever.
Totally.
If you have it for food, then it's
you
good.
You have to.
Yeah.
What are you gonna be like? Hey, I'm gluten free.
Yeah.
I'm dairy free, and you're like trying to communicate this as they're serving the only thing they serve.
Yeah. But also, if you go to a restaurant at home, then you're like, what do you want? And you're like, what do I feel like today?
Mm-hmm.
But on the road, especially in like not like going to New York, you know. I mean the road. I mean like off whatever. What you really want is some brand new thing, right? Or no?
That's a huge appeal. For
Yeah.
Sure.
So you're like, I don't know what to order. Please give me
Yeah.
something that you would have. Otherwise, you'd be like, I don't want a hamburger. You know what I mean? So it's like I might feel like that, but is that right or wrong?
Well, it's also kind of a fun aspect is like it's like a gambling.
Yeah.
Even like, you know, the slot machines suck, but there's something that makes you want to pull it next, and it's like, I got this combo, and this one sucks. But then like maybe the next one.
Right.
So you go to the next vendor.
Especially for that much money, if you're like, I hate it, you're like, dump it,
Yeah.
move, get another one.
Yeah. I've done. Yeah, I did that. It's like, okay, this like the lentils, like they were good. They didn't fill me up. One stand over, and it's like, okay, this
you're
is
like-
really good chicken.
and you're like, what the fuck
I'm
is
gonna
it?
be here tomorrow.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
That's fun. That's Marrakesh.
that's Marrakesh. So you got the souk there, and it drives people mad. So I was there for 10 days.
Hey, everybody. I shouldn't be doing this right now. Let me break into this episode and tell you a little bit about my guest. Zane Jarecke is a fucking traveler, everybody, and he has a fucking YouTube page right now that's got 572 subscribers. You can quadruple his fucking listenership right now, watchership. Subscribe to him at Zane, Zane Jarecke, Jarecke on YouTube.com. YouTube.com/@Zane Jarecke. I've got nothing to promote. My tour is over. So I will say I've got vinyls of my special Jew out right now. I'm in front of the Sydney Opera House, and it's fucking pouring rain. I shouldn't be doing this. Subscribe. Leave a comment. Let's get back to the episode. Zane Jarecke on YouTube. He's got a new podcast that's coming out. But anyway, subscribe to him on YouTube. ZaneJarecke on YouTube.com. And subscribe to this podcast. Guys, enjoy your fucking lives. Leave work. Do something with everything. Let's get back to the episode.
And typically people stay like 2 nights, and they're like, this is crazy. I got to get out of here.
Yeah, it seems
I'm
like
not
a long
saying that
time.
to contrast myself, but like I was just there for 10 days because I found a good hostel. It was cheap, and I was trying to like cool down my pace and just hang out for a bit. And so I got to the point where like I had my breakfast spots. You know, I was able to kind of watch. It's fun when you're in a place long enough and you're seeing people make the same mistakes you did.
Like
It's
what?
only like a
The
week
hub?
ago, but you're like, no, I'm the veteran now. Like,
It's so quick
like-
to become a veteran.
yeah, it's so quick.
I think
It's
they're
almost
banking
too
on the
quick.
fact like you'll be in and out.
Yeah,
You don't know what to
they
ask,
are. Yeah.
right?
It's like,
And then
this
when
guy
you
won't be here
do,
tomorrow.
that's what Rolf said about Namibia when they polish rocks and like sell them, and then he's like, they're like tourists, and then after you're there, if you're there and don't buy anything for like 2 hours, you're already there twice as long as anyone's ever been there.
Right.
So then they go like, "What's your name, man? Like, who are you?" Then you can you're not fish to them anymore.
Yep.
You're now like, "Oh, you're a human."
Right. because they can get away with that. It's like, I can rip this guy's face off because I'm not going to see him tomorrow.
Sure, I get it.
They're going to be upset, and then it's like,
You're in and out.
They're like
They start
a
working
country away.
Starbucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on the street out there?
What is going on in the street?
I don't know. Little street
I feel like
sweepers?
street sweeper. Yep, street sweeper. Just hosing it down. Two
Oh, that was
drivers in
something
there.
in
You wouldn't
Morocco.
think 2 drivers.
Let me get.
It doesn't seem like you need 2 people for that.
I think it's a company thing. It's like, hey, like this is a slow and boring
Driving
job,
on the
but
right, and the other guy's just a
He's
passenger.
on his phone.
He's on his phone.
You think they switch off, or it's like, nah,
Yeah,
you're
maybe.
driving today.
I mean, they're going less than a mile an hour. They're going lower than the speed of walking.
Definitely. You think they're playing music in there? Probably not. It's too loud.
Maybe. Yeah, yeah.
They got to make a thing out of it, though, if it's going to take that long.
Yeah. You gotta have card games
that
or
was
something.
something in Morocco. The infrastructure.
Okay.
I guess the king
Love it.
said, yeah, let's get some semi-history in here. The king wants to improve tourism right now.
Yeah. Let's,
Which way you want
so
this,
like, here's
man?
So like this is a natural tendency.
'Kay.
We're talking, right?
We're talking.
And then if someone's over there and you go like this, but now you're off mic, so it's hard. Almost feel like it's a swivel, so that's like it's constantly in front of you.
It's connected.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. No harm, no foul. They'll still pick up.
Right. So the king wanted the streets to be cleaned up for tourism.
Okay.
And so it's the first day I was in Marrakesh, the roads were still dirt roads. But the last day I was in Marrakesh, full like cobblestone. 10 days. So you'd go out late at night and you'd see these guys, like dozens of them, just laying pavement. But within a short trip, it was like there's new lights up, new doors, and new pavement.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just they get stuff done over there. Like that can't happen in New
So
York.
anybody who came the day after you left was like, oh, I guess it's always been
it's
cobblestone
nice
here.
pavement, Yeah, but a week ago, it was like dirt paths.
Wow.
Yeah, and I kind of
That's
like
cool.
the dirt
That's-
paths, by the way.
Yeah, that seems more real.
But it's like the people there are probably like, I actually like this new pavement. Like shoes aren't getting as dusty.
Yeah, there's that vibe of like, I want you guys to still be from the 1500s. I prefer you never get
Right.
any sort of like. Yeah.
Well, there's those guys in the squares too that make money off that. They're wearing like, so there's the Berbers, which are the original people of Morocco, and they have you see in pictures they have the blue. It's like the blue turbans is what they wear, but nobody like in the mountains, the Berbers don't really wear that anymore. But in the square, like there's guys.
You have pictures of any of that?
I could probably find some.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. You got to send me some pictures.
Yeah. I'll send you some pictures, and just like they're just dressed up in costumes, sweating their ass off for someone who's
For
like
nickels.
Yeah, it's like Instagram picture like with the natives, with the natives.
Dude, me and Garrett, we were looking for. What gets me moving is
Garrett,
a
the
for my
Canadian.
class.
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Is I like fridge magnets. It's dumb. It gets me out of the apartment. It gets me out of whatever I'm going to like get into the streets and get whatever, you know. Fridge magnet. So one souvenir. Plus, when I'm backpacking,
Easy to pack.
I can hold it in a
Totally.
small amount of space.
It's important.
So we're going on the Seine and we're like looking at maybe I don't want that one, but what's my experience? I don't want an Eiffel Tower. I haven't been there yet, so I ended up getting like the wines of France. I've been drinking a lot of wine.
Yeah. That's validated.
Yeah.
Right.
But anyway, then I bought a record, like a French import of Dexy's Midnight Runners.
Okay.
You know that song? Come
No,
on, Eileen.
I'm gonna be honest. Like I could act like yeah,
Yeah.
but no, I have no idea.
Come on, Eileen. Na, 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 na. You know it.
Okay.
You know it.
Kind of. Yes.
Okay.
Heard it. Don't
Okay,
know it.
you've heard it.
Yeah. Yes. References. Generational difference.
And the guy who we bought it, and he was like, I saw them here in 1982. I'm like, no way. Interesting fucking
Cool.
extra detail on this purchase. I was like, what were they like? They're like, nah, not so good. I'm like, really? He goes, French audiences aren't awesome. They don't really give much to the fucking performers. So we kind of stand there, so they're just kind of stand there. And I was like, there's not a lot of people up there, but they're, whatever. He's wearing a fucking beret, like, and with a scarf. He was so fucking French. He was like, yeah, I've been to New York. I've been to fucking Ontario. We just talked for a while, and I wanted to take a picture with him.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I know you're not doing this for the picture,
Yeah.
but I really want to get a picture and print it up and put it in the record. I didn't do it.
Didn't do it.
No.
What stops you? You were just make it unauthentic.
Self-consciousness.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
that's a
going to hold
thing.
up the record and be like, hey, can I serve my... Yeah. But I got his name, so I have a little
That's
story.
cool.
Luke.
Yeah, right on the back of the magnet, I guess, or
Yeah.
something.
No, not... Yeah. I didn't buy the magnet from him. I just bought a record.
Oh, the record,
But that's where I was.
yeah,
anyway,
put
so
it
go
on
ahead.
the
So
map.
they're wearing these Berber things. Sorry.
Yeah, no, the Berber things. Same deal though. You run into that where it's like, okay, you get away from the square, and there's the cool looking guy,
And they're not doing that.
Yeah, they're not doing that.
Are they
You
wearing
wanna
modern?
take a
Are they wearing
picture.
modern clothes like t-shirt?
Yeah, it's
and
pretty
jeans?
modern. It's like flip flops, jeans, shirt.
Right.
Once you get out to the desert, yes, they do wear the turbans because they have functionality. It's like there's sand blowing, there's sun.
Keep
Those
you
guys
cold.
cover up. Yeah, it keeps them cool, and they cover up like every inch of their body.
Because of sunburn.
Yeah, it's
Wow,
like it's
interesting.
necessary. Yeah.
Oh, that must be
So
so
that's
hard with
interesting.
long sleeves out in the
Yeah.
fucking desert.
I don't know how they do it, because then you have the Muslim woman who, they only have a little slit at
They
their
do the
eyes.
burqa there?
Yeah, they do the burqa.
How was that to see?
I'm not gonna lie.
You loved it?
I've
You're like, a
been-
woman who knows her
Well,
place
there's 2
is a
points.
rare thing in the Western culture.
Well, there's 2 things. Well, we have a story about that too later, but 2 things about that. I got there, and I've been to Morocco before, and I spent some time in the Middle East. But you get off the plane after being in the West or Europe for a while, I guess. Yeah. And you see that slit, and and they're kind of a little shorter, and it was night, and I thought it was kind of the scene from Star Wars, the Tatooine.
The bar?
The little the bar, but those little guys that were like sand. They'd go
Oh, yeah.
and they were in. They only had the little slit with the goggles. What were those guys called?
Sand somethings? Yeah. God, what were those called?
And someone could just speak their language too, like Han Solo, or like somebody could just slang their language
Yeah,
for no
knew it.
reason. Yeah, and we're
Well, they're
told
gonna
to
deal
get,
with them a lot.
Yeah, character's wrong, but
Yeah.
the point is that's how I
somebody thought-
felt. Even though I've been there, but it's just like such a shock because some of the slits, are like paper thin. I'm like, can you see me? Like, hello.
But like that cool 80s sunglasses?
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
That's like both.
It's like you
Yeah.
can't see out of that. But they do it, yeah. They must just.
Doesn't
that's
that,
all they know.
feeling wise on the inside, when you step off or whatever, you start seeing that, which is like a vastly different outfit than you'll
Right.
ever see. Not like different kind of t-shirts or different, vastly different. Feeling wise, are you just like, oh, I'm gone? I'm in a different, like I feel, you got to feel exotic, right?
You do feel exotic, but in a place like Marrakesh, it's like, okay, then like a group of like a tour group's coming by.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I'm like
I'm
not.
not.
Off the path yet.
Yeah.
And then eventually you do get off the path if you're long enough. But another thing on the note of that,
Yeah.
I have a theory, because so the women in Morocco, Moroccan women, I don't think they're like outlandishly attractive, but their eyes, they can like, shape you like Play-Doh with just their eyes, and I think it's because for so long they've only, they've
so they
only
learn
been
how to
able
express themselves with eyes.
Completely.
They can't like.
Well, they just learn how to use their eyes.
Remember during COVID, during the mask, and everyone's like, I don't know how to express myself
Right.
because I'm used to using this. You don't
Is
even
he
think twice
smiling?
about it. And
Yeah,
you're like, thanks.
is he pissed? Like,
Yeah, right. And,
Yeah.
and you got to like learn to emote with just your
yeah,
eyes.
you're like
Uh-huh.
doing the eyebrows. It's like, okay. But that was the thing, because there was a couple places, and I'm like, whoa! Like I just felt something, and she just walked by, and you make eye contact with people as they walk by.
You think there's sluts in that with the? Do you think there's burqa sluts?
You can't put it past them.
Can't put
I
it
mean,
past them. You would think, on one hand, no way, because their religion
right?
doesn't
Like
wear burqa.
no,
But on the other hand, like
suppressed for so long.
there's
Maybe
some women who are sluts and some who are not. So
Yeah.
why would that community be immune to
that's
the
why.
fucking
Yeah, you can't put it past
good
them.
chicks?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But the point is, like, they can. I mean, their eyes can melt you.
Wow.
Just shape. Yeah, it's incredible.
Spicy food or no?
No, strange. We were talking about this. In the suit, they have the pyramids, like in the movies. I don't know, James Bond, Indiana Jones, when they're running through throwing spice around. The bad guy behind them, like, here's some paprika. But they have those towers there, like the pyramids of spice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see it just like the olives. And then you go and order your food, and you think like there's gonna be a bunch of flavors, and you get like typical dishes, tangine, which cooks over a fire in a little clay pot for a couple hours. Typically
Like
vegetables.
a stew?
Not a stew. It's like there's a little piece of chicken in the middle because meat's expensive, so it's like mostly potatoes, tomatoes, some other vegetable, and then like a little piece of chicken in the middle. Kind of it's fun to work to. It's like an Easter egg, and then the inside's cream, but it's like the inside's chicken.
Finally
so you
some
kind of work
protein.
to it. Yeah, you're like kind of getting to it, and there's a little sauce in the bottom. But a lot of the times I was like, hey, do you have any other spice I can throw on this thing?
Really? Bland.
Yeah.
Morocco's bland.
Bland. I'm gonna
Not even,
say
we're not talking about hot spice. We're just talking about like
just
zesty
in
spice.
general. In general,
Wow.
I'm gonna say
It seems like spices come from there.
they do, because people
The spice trade, is
there
that
was-
not there?
Well, there's the saffron trade that people go down from Spain. There was this guy, he takes his van, buys a bunch of saffron, goes up to somewhere in Spain, sells it off. I heard about this guy. He's like a saffron smuggler because it's so cheap down there.
Oh.
But they're not using it. They're not throwing it in there. They're not, it's like, well, on the table there'd be cumin. There's always cumin, and there's a little paprika. But that can only get you so far. Like, let me get a pepper in there.
Yeah.
Let me kick this up a few notches. Like, I want to sweat. Like that Korean dinner the other night. Yeah.
Kick this up a notch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Korean dinner was nice.
That was good.
Oh, no, but that spice wasn't that good. Wasn't that spicy?
I don't know. I had that little red dish.
Yeah, the red.
I was sweating my ass off.
Okay.
Man. Yeah. Different tolerances.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of that Lebanese place where we met that director guy.
Oh, no. He underhanded it.
He underhanded it.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
No. The Korean place was fucking,
Yes.
was spicy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Michelin reviewed.
Not starred.
Still
Michelin
good.
reviewed Korean
Damn good.
food place in Paris,
Yeah.
France.
Cool district.
Okay. What were you telling me? Was that you were telling me about the fucking... Once you got, like, you knew the vibe of everything, you could just sit back and kind of watch the chicks get kind of robbed?
Yeah, well, there was that thing, too. So the ladies in the burqa.
Yeah.
There's the henna. Henna's like a big thing in their culture. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure it has some special spiritual meaning, which I never really checked into. It's kind of I just didn't get over to it.
Okay, who cares?
Nobody cares.
There's this called brutalist architecture.
Okay.
And these people, the Berlins, Bertlin, something like that. This husband and wife, they take pictures of like warehouses, in like I think either rural Germany or whatever. And then they started going all over the world, and they were like, these warehouses are art. They're sculptures. Mm-hmm. They're beautiful sculptures. And they take it black and white. You ever see those like pictures of farmers? It's not George O'Keeffe. It's like farmers, but black and white. Like they're like this without smiling. You see the wrinkles in their faces. You're like, they're beautiful.
Totally.
So like we apply that same shit to these warehouses. Some are in use, some are not. Grain storage, shit's coming out of them like a pipe, whatever. Mm-hmm. And they're massive, so they need only ones that can go far enough away where they can get the whole thing. Some of them they do in every angle, and it's called brutalist. And it was like, and this whole level of architecture came out of that, of like just brutalist, like just not pretty at all. I mean, Paris is very pretty. It's the opposite of brutalist.
Okay.
So it's coming back into style now. People are like, that was cool.
Yeah.
But they were like, what are these grain storage facilities, or what do they do? What's the history of that? They go, oh, we don't give a shit.
Yeah.
We're only looking at it as a sculpture. We don't care about the history. We don't care about the uses.
It's refreshing, isn't it?
Yeah, it
It's
is.
like, hey, I just like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
you don't have to learn the
tell you
history of a fucking place.
Like, this is appealing.
I had fun hanging out in Berlin doing drugs. Well, when did that eventually? I don't know, man. Give me some fucking more ketamine.
Yeah.
Like, shut up. Like,
Pass it back over.
yeah,
Like,
pass it
bullshit.
over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi guys, today's episode of You Be Trippin is brought to you by Foundation Cigars. Guys, wherever I go, Foundation Cigars goes with me. You ever see us smoking stogies on Joe Rogan's episodes of Protect Our Parks or Sober October? A thing I created and destroyed. Yeah, those are Foundation Cigars. Those are the Joe Rogans. You know where you can buy those? Fucking nowhere. They don't sell them. They just make it for Joe Rogan. You can get them from my house. I have a box. Yeah, I stole right out of Joe Rogan's humidor. That's not Joe. He gave it to me. I literally asked him, this is how generous he is. I go, hey, can I just get one cigar? I'm not leaving until like 6 p.m. I want to smoke a cigar. And he goes, here, take a box. I'm like, dude, I just want to smoke one. He goes, take a fucking box. I can get them. You can't get them. The closest you can get is the Tabernacle by Foundation. It is a great full-bodied cigar that you guys will fucking love. They have tons more. They had this one in a fucking limited edition Egyptian carrying case that I brought on my tour with Renazizi and O'Neill. That was fucking great. God damn. They come with me everywhere. I got a story to tell you on the next one about Guatemala, bringing some of those one was the Foundation. I was the Tabernacle, and 2 they also had the David. That's a good short smoke. Anyway, they got a lot. Me and Bobby Kelly actually went to the chill. Me and Bobby Kelly actually went to the fucking just be gone already. I'm trying to make money, bro. We went to the plantation. We saw them fucking planting all the fucking tobacco. It was great. Anyway, if you want to get one, go to foundationcigars.com right now and go buy yourself some I would say get the David. Those are really good. But also if you want to smoke pretty much what we're smoking on Rogan, It's like 1% off. Then get the Tabernacle by Foundation. Yeah, chase that one, bro. There's like 3. That means they're flanking me. Guys, let's get back to the episode. FoundationCigars.com. All right, if I die, you're going to fucking pay me.
Yeah. So, I don't know the backstory, but they had these. So the woman in the burqas.
Yeah.
And you'd see them. So eventually, like after a few days, I'd sit back and I would just watch people. It's kind of like my form of entertainment. Like just watch people get their faces ripped off. Could be by like an outrageous price on something or them losing like a bargaining battle. Like they think, and especially it's fun when they walk away and they're like high-fiving their friend. They're like,
got that guy.
Yeah, like got him good. And the
guy's
just like,
price.
yeah. And I know the real, or it's just like you look at the guy. And he's like, these suckers. Like, I just smoked them. Like, my family, we're eating big tonight.
And probably, or maybe I'm wrong, but they're probably like, you really got me, man.
Yeah. Like, oh,
no,
okay.
you really
like,
got me.
Get you this free thing, too. Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
And they can do it in like 4 or 5 languages. Those guys are top-notch salesmen. Anyways, the woman there,
My dad's from the Middle East.
Yeah?
And or was raised there. And he was buying a 4Runner. He decided the 4Runner is what I want. And he went, they're just good at bargaining there. They're just good at bargaining that whole region. I was raised in America. I'm not that good at it. And he went from dealer to dealer to dealer. Dealer A, hey, what's the price? $30,000. Okay, thank you. Let me think about it. Whoa, are you going to leave? $29,500. Like, okay, cool. Let me think about it. Go to dealer B, $30,000. That gave me $29,500. It's like, fuck. How about 29? I'm like, okay. Let me think about it. It's like, how about 28.5 then if you're going to leave? Sure. Go to dealer C. I got 28.5 as an offer. Fine, 27. He just kept doing circles, going back to A. Dude, I got an offer at 27. What, you going to beat that? He's like, yeah, how about 26? Because, they're the margins.
Smart.
He kept going back until he finally got a guy's like, dude, all right, it's 19.5. I literally can't do anything different. If you leave, don't come back. This is as good as I can do. And he got a no. And he's like, fine, 19.5. And he's like, fine. And he's like pissed. Like, oh, I'm making $50 off this fucking deal.
Yeah.
And he's like, sign the fucking paperwork. My dad's about to sign. He goes, I want a Toyota hat. And the guy's like off the wall. Like, take the fucking hat.
Take it. They're good. In the Middle East, they're good, man. My mom, Syrian.
Yeah.
She gets what she wants.
So what are you watching? You're watching these chicks?
Yeah, I was watching these chicks, and it was fun to watch them. So the woman in the burqas are walking around, and they're scouting. They're like, okay, no, like, not this one. This one doesn't have enough money. This one's too, like, raggedy backpacker. Yes, like, this German that's never been here before.
They're probably good enough to know if you have all your goods on you on your backpacker. That's
like,
they don't.
no.
They have $2 extra.
No.
They don't have. Right.
And they would walk up to them.
Anyone with pants that you can unzip in the middle to make shorts, you're like, that's our guy.
That's that's dead giveaway.
Fish or bite.
Dead giveaway.
Yeah.
And so the lady in the burqa would walk up, and she would just grab the arm of the girl. It would kind of be like a little like one of these, and then the other arm like this, tight here, and then she does a whole henna, just like this, within like 30 seconds, and the girl's like, no, I don't want it, but then it's like, it's already half done, and she's like, don't worry, for
But
free.
She pulling out?
Some of them pull.
Yeah.
Some of them are just like, just do it.
Right.
And then it's like, sometimes they even throw sparkles on there. And by the end...
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Max. I mean, maybe like 15. And then the girl will be like, oh, like, okay, like, I'll give you some. And the woman will be like, their price, you'd always hear, or I always heard, 40 euros.
You're sitting back there, sipping on tea, and just like watching them, and it was 40 euros.
40 euros is the price I kept hearing was like their first starter point. Because you get those big fish that are like, okay, like, here's 40 euros, I guess.
Right, why not?
And they're like, yeah, like, just leave me alone. I was shocked. Some people pay the 40 euros, which would make a month. I
mean, you got to take a chance. You got to take a chance.
You have to.
If you're them. I'm saying if you're the dealers.
Yeah, because
I was in Dominican Republic. I had my friend who was like Dominican, and he was like acted as my at-home like guide. But what should I do? Where should I go? What about this? And when he was like, I was like on the beach. I had this fresh fruit salad. I was like, that was like $10. So he goes, you paid asking price? You fucking rookie tourist.
Idiots,
I'm like, damn it. He already made it.
Terrible.
He already made it.
It feels terrible.
Yeah.
It feels fun to watch.
Yeah.
Terrible in the moment.
Like, how much should it be? It goes like 3 to 5.
It's the worst when you go back to the hostel and one guy's like, oh, I got it for $3. How much do you get it for? And you're like, Yeah, let's just not talk
I don't know.
about it.
I think also 3.
Yeah,
I think 295.
Yeah, I think even like a little lower. But so I was there for 10 days. And eventually, like, I felt like I had my routine. And then I went to a new chicken place. And I thought I had the look in my eye where I'm not getting ripped off. I sat down. I ordered the chicken. It was really good. Lentils, the whole nine, the loaf of bread. And I went to pay, and it was like 60 dirham. And I took it personally because it was like I couldn't walk. How do you walk out of there? It's hard to bargain for something already after you ate. I just felt like so shitty after that meal that I bought a bus ticket that day and just got out of there. I headed for the mountains. These street sweepers,
Yeah.
they're doing a good job. I mean, that's like
Country.
one down, up.
Oh, they're coming this way now.
Nice. They're hitting water pressure from both ways.
They're one of the second car.
Okay, he's actually doing something. Oh, he's walking with the rope. That'd actually be kind of a fun job. Like when your dad's like, hey, power wash something, whatever, like the car, the front porch, whatever, the lawn. And you're like, no, I don't really want to. And then you start doing it. You're like, okay, this is actually fun.
Yeah.
Like you're getting getting that crack a little bit. Like,
Interesting. Well, let's see.
we're back on.
Yeah, we're back on.
And then I went to the other mountain town, Chefchaouen.
Yeah. Had you known anyone who's been there before?
Yeah, that's on the track.
Okay.
So back on the backpacker
What's the track?
loop.
Tell them what the track is.
So backpacker, you either start in Tangier or you start in Marrakesh.
But like what a backpacker track means in general.
Oh, okay. It's just you go to a new place and you think you're going to be in one city, and then it's like you hear about the backpacker loop, and it's like there's 5 or 6 places nearby that everybody goes to. And they all kind of have their own spunk. So Marrakesh is like you go there for the souk, you stay for 2 days because otherwise it'll beat you down. And then you go maybe to the Atlas Mountains for a half day or a day. I had time, so I was there for a week. I was supposed to be there for 2, but like I said, kind of got weird. Then there's Essaouira, which they filmed like some Game of Thrones in, so it's kind of a destination. It's on the coast.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so it's great oysters. You can just walk to the dock in the morning, and they have like fresh seafood, and it's like an oyster is maybe like, I don't know, 30 or 50 cents maybe. Prices fluctuate every morning, but the longer you go there, cheaper it gets. He's like, okay, lower price.
Oh, right.
But they're so fresh, he's like squeezing the lemon on there, and you're like, okay, another one, man. This is too good.
And the backpacker track is like, this is just like after you're in this town, a lot of people, there's another town that's kind of got some hostels and like some shit to do. There's some towns where there's really nothing to do. I've done this too, where you're like, let me check out this. I see a map. I see another town. I'm just going to go.
Yeah.
And you go there. You might even find a hostel, not a shitty one or whatever. And then it hits you pretty fast. Like, there's a reason there's no hostel here. There's nothing to do. There's not a souk. There's not a good market. There's like a grocery store. And it's like, this is far lamer. There's not any hikes. There's not any like hot springs. There's nothing. It's just a fucking port town.
But have you ever had a great experience in one of those places? You're like, I'm going to stick this out. Yeah, and
For
then
sure.
it's like, wow.
For sure.
Something to be said about that.
Yeah, true. Absolutely.
Because the thing with the backpacker route is it's always what's next. So you get to Essaouira, and then it's like, okay, we're going to Casablanca.
Right.
Or Fez. Fez is on the route. That's like another marketplace. Chefchaouen's on the route because like 2 crowds go there. Instagram, addicted people, because it's painted blue. So it's like they need that picture.
Wow.
The whole city is, well, not the whole city. I'd say like 60% is all blue. It's
Chefchaouen?
cool. Chefchaouen. Chaouen for short, if you want to be like, yeah, I went to Chaouen. Chaouen.
I'll never say that in my life.
I definitely will and have. So there's Chaouen.
Yeah.
And then the other market that goes there is, did we check your mic, by the way? Are we good?
Yeah, we're good.
Cool. Is just stoners, because they have some of the best quality hash in the world.
Interesting.
It's all this stuff that gets shipped up to Amsterdam. And they have fields of it. Like you're driving into town from the mountains and you're just like, oh, that's fields of marijuana. Cool. And you get to town and like that's
Totally
the first,
legal.
Totally
Or
blurred lines. Like technically illegal, but
Mm-hmm.
everybody does it.
yeah.
So it's like one of those deals. So that's the crowd you get at Chefchaouen. But yeah, the backpacker loop is all like, what's next?
Okay.
That's why it's hard to go to a hostel when you're on like a long-term, like let's call it the vagabonding thing. And you're like, I'm on the road for 2-3 years. And then you get that group that's in there who's trying to fit all of Morocco in a 1 week or 2 weeks.
And
You're
like,
kind of
yeah,
like, man, yeah, it's like
fucking
there's
this
a little
up.
disconnect. But yeah, so Chefchaouen's on the route, and then people go from Chefchaouen to Tangier.
I got
And
some hash, by the way.
did you buy it here?
got it here. Didn't buy it. Smoked a
That
little.
guy at the picnic last night, he was Moroccan. He was slinging hash.
Wow.
I thought I sent him your way. He didn't. He never came over.
I just wasn't buying, but I also had a little bit where I got some at a bar. Someone's like, "You smoke weed?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I mean, I'm not looking for it right now, but if you have, I'll smoke with you. And he went and got some hash from the bouncer, and he was like, broke some up and put it in a fucking with the spliff, you know.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Here, take this." And I was like, "Okay."
Yep. Save that for later.
Yeah, ran it through the wash by accident, but then looked at my pocket, like, still there.
We're gonna use this.
So, yeah, I'll find it later. We'll figure it out. Yeah.
So that probably good chance maybe that came from Morocco. Chefchaouen. That's the Rif Mountains.
Okay.
It's a small town again, like maybe a 2-day town. People are like, okay, I smoked hash in Chefchaouen, I'm done.
Right. I checked something off a list.
Check something off a list.
All right. Whatever. It's fine. If they want to be like that, that's fine.
Right. It's like whatever.
Yeah.
I was there. That was the place I maybe stayed the longest. I was there for a little over 2 weeks,
So,
and
yeah.
that was where they also had that holiday. I was there for the holiday of Eid, the Muslim holiday.
EID.
EID.
I see it.
It's longer. It's like
EID.
Eid al.
Oh, really?
Adha. Yeah.
I'll see it in my iPhone sometimes.
Yeah.
They'll be like,
yeah.
Eid,
It'll
and
come
I'm
up.
like,
It's a big holiday. It's like
I see that
commemorating
in Battle of Boyne.
Battle of Boyne.
That's a UK holiday.
We should check into that.
Yeah.
That could be interesting.
Yeah.
For some reason, I'm getting like images of like LARPing. Like everybody goes and like puts on their armor and
That's right. That'd be fun.
yeah. Some guy's got a bow and arrow that's like totally ineffective, like Nerf gun.
Yeah.
Just like,
Oh, you pointing to me.
oh, you got me, arm down. It's like, no, that would have killed you. You know, go back. You
Back
ever
in the
LARPed?
day, though, right?
You ever LARPed?
Fuck you. No. I have to even ask. You're a fucking cunt. You did?
I considered it. That you'd be on at school
If
and
there's
you'd
a
walk by the
yeah.
park and it's like there's like some guy having a lightsaber fight and then there'd be like the LARPers. Do you call them LARPers?
LARPers, yeah.
And I'm LARPing.
I was gonna say if a hot chick asked me, I would. But honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, if a 6 asked me, like, we should do it, it's fun, I'd be like, yep, I want to.
Really?
Yeah.
6.
A 6. That's all it would take.
I don't know, man.
6.2.
For me, it's like maybe 2 or 3. I'd go
A 2. If a 2,
just for
a
just for
disgusting
sport.
fat chick. No, not 6 out of 10. I
Easy
would
to kill.
go. I'm saying if a 6.
No,
on a
I
woman's
got it.
scale.
Yeah, 2 or 3.
Oh, you're saying if a fucking
I kind of want to do it.
Oh, all right. You're ready to go.
I'd be like the net and trident guy. Like gladiators, you throw a net, tangle them up, you got trident.
Okay.
Anyways, LARPing in Morocco. But no, so I was there for the holiday.
Okay. Eid.
Eid.
And what are they celebrating there?
It's the commemorance of Abraham, his willingness to sacrifice his son.
Cool story.
Yeah. And so
His willingness to sacrifice his son.
So
Yeah.
you're there, and it's kind of like a week leading up to Christmas in a big city. Like there's a little energy in the air.
12 days of Christmas, right?
But instead of like chestnuts roasting, some vendor, it's like all these vendors popped up, and all their whole job is just sharpening knives. So it's like, okay, like that's a new sound and smell, and there's a lot of them. Like so there's like one in every little neighborhood, and they're just sharpening knives all day. So that's like the first thing you see. And then you start paying attention. It's like, okay, there's a goat. Like some guy's walking a goat. Oh, there's a sheep, 2 sheep going up into that apartment building. So you start looking at that and you're like, okay, like I can connect these dots pretty easily. And then you get to the holiday and it's like every family has a goat or sheep, if they can afford it. Goat or sheep. In some bigger towns, cows. And the butcher comes by with the sharpened knives and sacrifices the sheep, goat, cow, whatever, in commemorance to Abraham's willingness.
I love how you're like, but it's not. It doesn't seem that natural.
But it's
to me.
it's as
But it is
natural
to
as
them.
like
Right.
whatever Christmas, Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
whatever holiday you celebrate.
Pedophilia. Yeah, it's normal.
Like the night before, the kids are singing in the street.
Oh,
Like
interesting.
looking forward to it. But the day of, it is not an exaggeration to say the alleyways were actually running with blood. Swear.
Really?
Yeah. Like they're stepping over puddles of blood. Wow. And then like then there'll be piles of the skin. It's like, okay, like we use everything but the skin, and so there's a pile of skin for this neighborhood.
Goats.
Like goat skin, whatever, sheep skin. Wow. And then there's also something really interesting, which is, so they chop the head off, and in each neighborhood, everything's like kind of split by neighborhoods. Like there's one neighborhood butcher that goes to every house, and he does the butchering. and there's one neighborhood group typically that does the roasting of the heads. So you chop the heads. I have a picture of this I can send you. Like I pose with like a big head. A sheep
heads
head.
roasting on an open fire. Yeah, I want to see that picture.
Yeah. But so you drop them off.
It's just the whole sheep
Just the head, and you give it to like the neighborhood I went to, and like sat there with the guys doing it. They were like teenagers who were like just trying to make an extra buck, and they had like a bed mattress, like kind of like these ones, but wood or not wooden, like steel, and they put coals under it, and they would just drop the heads on there and roast them, and the hooves too, and then they'd kind of like skin it after it's totally blackened, and then they deliver it back to the family, because then the family can eat the brain, and that's like a big delicacy.
It cooks in the head?
Yeah. It's like a huge delicacy. So then you're just like walking around town.
So you're paying them to make it for you?
Yes. And then deliver. And you're walking around town, you're like, okay, stepping over this like puddle of blood. What are they roasting? Is that something I can eat? Is that street food? And I was like, oh, that's a head and a hoof.
Wow.
And, because they're chopped. I mean, they've got machetes, and, so that was an interesting day.
Where are you staying?
I was in a hostel at that point. And it was but also no shop. Everybody's closed, and it's not like negotiable. It's like you're closed on Eid and the day after.
Right.
So no taxis are going. So if you're in the city when it happens,
Eid and the day after.
and the day, I think it's even a few more days, but those are 2 days. It's like non-negotiable closed. So it becomes a thing of wherever you are on Eid, you're there. And so the hostel was pretty empty. And so when nobody came, I was
Is
like,
anybody in the streets? Is there cars driving?
no. I mean, it's like everybody's with their family.
Right.
I mean, there's the guy that's like dropping off the head.
Yeah.
But that's it. Nobody's working. They're with their families. So the hostel's pretty empty because nobody was getting to it. Nobody was leaving. So it was like a core group of like 6 of us.
Yeah.
There's like the vegan girl that's like, I can't stand this. Like, get me out of here. You also got that character. I think she actually did find a taxi, paid him an obscene amount of money just to drive for like around the mountains. Because she's like, I don't want to hear it.
I don't want to hear what?
Like the goat's bang because it's like a small town.
Yeah.
It's like, meh. It's
Dying.
like,
The sound of
yes.
multiple animals dying.
well, it's a lot. Yeah. Multiple is a small word because it's like every family. And then like the apartment is stacked.
Oh,
So you kind of get her point of view.
Yeah.
But it's also like they don't see it that way. They're like, this is a huge holiday for us. Like we are eating meat and we don't like eat a lot of meat. And this is a big deal.
Wow.
So in that town, there was like a street food that I'd always go to. It was snails, and then there was another pot, boiled snails.
Snails like here, like escargot.
Yeah, like you just take a toothpick and you're going at them.
You take a toothpick. You
I'm
got to go
gonna
in
be
the
honest. I've
shell.
never had escargot here. Like I don't know what that is. That just boiled snails?
Yeah, but what it is it's like one of those things. The Fibonacci sequence.
Okay.
Things.
Yeah.
And so they just come with like a bunch of green, the bourguignon ones.
Wow, that's
the
a good
bourguignon.
word.
Yeah. And I ordered it once wrong. I was like bourguignon, like, and he said something back like way different than I said, and I was like, yeah, you know what I meant.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Be cool about it.
They give you a clamp,
Oh,
like
okay.
tongs to clamp onto the shell, and these two like a fork with just 2 long things, and you get into the shell. You clamp, hold, because it's hot. Get the fork in there, pull out the meat. You can't see any of the meat.
No, there's a technique to it.
And you pull it out and then go for it.
And the juice after, you like.
Today I got it, and there was no bread. The rest, the first time I got it, dump the bread. It's delicious.
That sounds
sauce.
great because
Yeah.
it's probably buttery sauce.
Were these like that where you can't even see the fucking thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh well, yeah, sometimes. But I didn't have like a special. So first, I was using my hands, so my hands are
Okay.
burning.
Yeah, it's hot.
Really hot, man.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I
how
didn't
are
know they'd already put it on the table the first time, the fork and the thing, and I was like, how do you do that? I had to like go online and look up how you do it. I'm like,
As you're sitting
"Hey,
at the
man, I
table?"
need that fork and the clamp, and he goes, yeah, they're right there. I'm like, uh-huh.
That's funny when you're in a country and you're like, how do I eat this?
Yeah.
Like I ate
How
artichoke.
do I eat this? Not is it
Sardinia.
good?
Yeah, like,
how do I
how?
even accomplish a task of eating? Sardinia what?
Yeah. It was embarrassing. I never ate an artichoke before. And it's just
so
like,
funny.
it hits the table and it's like, is this a Pokemon? Like, what am I supposed to do with this thing?
Yeah, you don't know you're supposed to.
And so
peel
I'm
it
like,
off.
okay, like, and it didn't come with any sauces, so I just would tear them off. I'm like, okay, I guess you just pop this in. And so I started just popping them in. Like, I took a 2 to be like good measure. And I'm just chewing, man. Or I'm just, okay, like, it's just like, it's kind of a weird appetizer. Like, I'm losing my appetite. This is like 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
And then they had the little black spikes on the top of the leaf. So at one point, like, it gets in my gum and I like pull, it's like bleeding a little bit. I'm like, this is just like, no way you guys do this. The guy came over and he like showed me anyways. But So yeah, snails. Yeah, this is like you grab it with your hands. Their hands, I guess, they're just immune to the heat, and they have a toothpick, and they're just going. They're professionals. So I was eating one of these things. It's like 20 cents for a good bowl. And I was asking just the guys at the stand, like, hey, like, what are you guys doing for Eid? You know, and then there was like one who spoke English, and he's like, oh, I'm doing this, but... And then he kind of got that I wanted to invite, but he's like, let me talk to a friend to see if he can get you there. That friend couldn't take me, but he had a friend, and he goes, hey, this family... They don't speak any English. They're my friends. They're good people. They said you're welcome at their house. Do you want to go?
Do you think there's any sort of like, in Judaism, there's a commandment from Abraham. Is that out?
No.
Fuck. Of Abraham to take in travelers. Abraham predates. Abraham's kids were the ones that split up Islam and Judaism.
Okay.
So Abraham is both our religion's father.
Yes.
Right. So we both have the sacrifice of Isaac.
Isaac? Ishmael?
I think after Isaac was where it split off, maybe.
Okay.
I got to think it out.
We don't need to go.
Doesn't
into
really
this.
matter, yeah.
Yeah.
But Abraham would take in travelers. He was a Bedouin.
Right.
And if you were walking by the desert, it was like, hey, man, come on in for a meal. And like that's Abrahamic. You should be taking people in. Do you get the sense there was that thing of like, hey, man, there's a fucking out-of-towner here. Someone should take him in.
Definitely.
There what?
Because there's also, on Eid, it's like 1/3 of the meat is supposed to go to the people who can't afford meat. So it's like worst case scenario, like the homeless people essentially.
Right.
Worst case scenario, I kind of qualify. I'm like, I can get some
traveler
meat out
who
of
can't
this.
get food anywhere.
Like, yeah, I'll at least get the
Right.
third that's like promised to
Right.
these people.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. They look at the in Islam. I think it's like a guest is like sent from Allah, from God. So it's like you want to take them in. It's like a good thing, good omen.
Chefchaouen.
Chefchaouen.
Okay. Yeah, it's sent from God to give you a chance to do a
Right.
good deed.
So this family, I guess, was like, yeah, I'm cool with that. Like that's
Like, oh, sick.
yes, like,
Traveler?
yeah,
I've been waiting to do this.
yeah. So
There's
I said
actually in
sure.
Judaism, there's a I think on Passover, I forget now. There's a custom to like take people in, but who's out? Everyone's got their family thing. So some of the local like older high school kids, 17, 18, they'll just walk down the streets so that people get the chance to do like, hey, come on in. They'll come in, they'll have a couple bites, be like, you did it. Okay, next.
did you do that?
No.
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 It's like Halloween. It's like
Yeah.
knock knock.
But imagine you have a good deed, get closer to God if you can give out candy, but no one's out there getting candy. So you're
Yeah.
helping me
You
get
are
closer to
helping
God
them.
by going door to door.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
That's a good win-win too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so they're taking you in.
This
This
they
one
took me in.
family's like, I gotcha. I got
Yeah.
them. Sweet.
Yeah, so score. I'm like, I'm happy. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go experience this thing. I didn't know anything about the family.
How long had you been here in this town at this point?
I was here for, at this point, maybe like 10, 11, 12 days.
Wow.
Yeah, it took me a while. It took me a while. I took a lot of no's. I got shut down a couple times because it was just like logistics too. It's like, hey, I'm gonna be out in my family's place in like the mountains and nobody's driving back and forth. So there's a lot of little side quests like this.
Okay.
But a family lived in town. They're like, yes, we can take you. And we arranged it through the friend of a friend at the snail stand. They're like, okay, he'll come to your hostel. He'll pick you up and he'll walk you. Just be outside at 10 a.m. or 9 a.m., whatever it was. So I got up, put on my polo, and I was like, okay, let's do this thing. And he was waiting outside.
That was your nicest shirt?
Yeah. I'm not wearing it now, but
Yeah.
yeah, I carry one polo with me.
If just in case.
It's never clean.
You're like, I'll be
Always
not
wrinkly.
upscale enough, but it's better
It's
than
like
I would
all
be.
I got.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Fair.
I'm giving you the best I got.
Yeah.
And
Color.
you know, not much, but it's honest.
Yeah.
I think I said that once after I had sex with a girl.
It's not much.
It's not much, but at least it's honest.
Your cock, your dick.
Just like the performance overall.
It's like, all right.
It just came to mind. Yeah. It's just like, because I love that phrase. Like, it's not much, but it's honest.
I will give you 3.5 minutes. You can count on that.
You can take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Anyways, that wasn't happening here. I was outside at 10 a.m. and he came and he came with his little sister.
10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when the day's getting started. They're like in Paris. It's like similar. It's like nobody's really up at 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, but I figured they would get you for the feast that would be a nighttime feast.
Well, they kind of start at lunch. It's like a Thanksgiving thing. You kind of have like a pre-meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, Thanksgiving is over by like 4 p.m. Thanksgiving
Well,
dinner
you got
is
some
over
weird
by
families
4
that do it.
p.m.
My family's not like that, man. We go into the night. Like,
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And even if you start at 4, it's like going till 9.
It's just so weird to start at 4. Like we're eating at 4. We never eat at 4. Have a lunch.
Yeah.
Start at 7.
Like, we're just getting done with our football game. Like, give me some time to, like, shower.
Yeah.
Clean myself up.
Yeah. Okay.
But, yeah, 10 a.m. 10 a.m. I was outside the hostel. He came with his little sister, and they walked me. And, it's just, like, the classic exchange. Like, hey, hi, good.
Yeah.
This little, dance. And we walked to his place. Everything was normal. Everything was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm excited. The door opened. Little apartment. They kind of parted ways.
Who?
The little
people.
girl, his sister. So there's the guy about my age who's like my kind of invite. Like, he's the one that said, like, yes, you can come with my family.
Yeah.
So there's him. He's like 21.
Have you heard the new Rahbadin Journey album?
Yeah. He's like, okay.
Sure, yeah, sure.
There's this little sister. They walk in, and they kind of just split. They go to different sides of the room. Okay, the mom comes and greets me.
Okay.
I don't see a dad. Mom greets me. She moves out of the way to the side. And there's like a doorway inside I'm like walking in this home. Out of a doorway comes a girl who's in a white silk. I mean, it is a silk dress. Like, this thing's shining.
How old? What are we talking?
At first,
7,
I thought... At first, I thought high teens. Turns out she's like low 20s.
Okay.
And the dress is like embroidered, yeah, in gold. I noticed immediately she
White
had like
silk dress.
embroidered in gold. She had
Clean.
flowers, very clean. She had fresh flowers in her hair. Not
Like Midsommar?
Not like, when you see those fake flowers, like those are it's like kind of cheesy. No, these were like someone plucked these things. Like, these are fresh flowers, yellow.
Yeah.
I remember because
like
she had
inner
black
ear?
hair. No, like
They made her
a crown. A crown. And I remember because there was a contrast. She had long black hair, kind of went down to like her hips type thing. And immediately, you can tell when someone spent time on their appearance, and a lot of time. Like, not just like I'm throwing on my wrinkly polo. Like, no, like
Right.
2 hours, something.
I'm looking good.
I'm looking good.
Who
and I
is
was
she?
like,
You know who she is?
well, she's like presumably part of this family.
Okay.
And then it kind of clicked. They're like, wait a second. Like, there's some symbolic presentation going on here. Like, the family separated.
The little sister's not dressed like that.
No.
Is the mom?
No. The mom's like in cooking gear. She's got like an apron on. She's like working. They're in their jalabas, which is like the men wear the jalaba. It's like the Muslim dress. Like, the guy was in it. The little girl was in one, but it was just like a little cotton one with like, might have had some stains on
Okay.
it. This one was like
Just this one.
distinctly like you could walk down the aisle in this thing. And that's kind of what it was. That's how I know. I was like, you don't wear a flower crown for sport. Like, I get it's a holiday. And I really knew once like she greeted me, and I'm like, oh, this is a warm greeting.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Warm.
What do you mean?
Like, typically,
Like, what's
in
going
that
on is
country,
what I'm saying.
like, I walk in and she like hugs me and kisses me, or yeah, like we embrace, and then she leads me into a room. I take off my shoes. Everybody takes off their shoes. They go into the side room, and there's just like a full spread of cakes and dips and little nuts and this and tea, and she sits me down and she just starts serving me.
The
girl.
The white dress girl.
Yeah.
What's her
And I'm
name?
like-
Do you know? Doesn't
I actually
matter.
don't
Yeah.
know.
Okay.
And yeah, just it didn't take too long to be like, wait a second, like this is not just
What's going on?
well, they're essentially offering
This is crazy.
yeah,
They're offering her to you?
they're offering their daughter. And I came over for the feast. So the
You're like,
feast
dude,
is
I'm just here for dinner.
yeah. Like, I would have found a better polo.
I might have bought
I
something.
might have bought something. I would have brushed my teeth at least. So I sit down and I'm like eating this cake and I'm like trying to navigate. I'm like, okay, wait a second. How do we do this? Like, she's sitting beside me. Like, I drink a little bit of my tea and it just like fills up really quick. Like, the thing just keeps filling. I'm like, whoa.
Alcoholic? Non-alcoholic?
No, not alcohol. Never alcohol. But like, just like, I'm getting great service. Like, when you see a cake and you're like, I want that slice, I'd get that slice every time. She would put it right in front of me as soon as I finished. Like, if my plate was bare, there'd be something there seconds later. And she was bringing stuff from the kitchen as we finished things. It was like a hot cake out of the oven. So she was prepping for this. Not only was she like getting dressed, like she was cooking things this morning.
How long in advance of this meal had you got the invite?
I got it Friday night, and this was Sunday morning.
So they had a day,
They
a
kind of
full
had a
day,
like, okay.
a night to sleep on it, and a full day to prepare. I mean, what was she going to do if you hadn't been there?
Probably just normal stuff. Like,
You think they were just like, oh shit, our good luck. Fucking, you know,
Zane from
Norma
Montana.
Jean is like, it's our time. We've been waiting for it, but now it's our time.
ticket. I don't know what they're thinking.
Zane from Montana. Zane from a place called Mountains.
A place called
just
Mountains.
like us.
Yeah, this is perfect. He's 23. She was around that age. He seems normal enough.
Oh, what great prospects.
Yeah,
He seems normal enough.
normal enough. He's got a blue passport.
It's one of the good
Well,
countries.
that's what it came. That's where the story goes. So I'm trying to navigate. It's hard to get comfortable in that scenario when you're being served and you're like, I'm just a normal dude. Like, you know, I'm a backpacker. Like, I'm used to scrounging by, and like next thing you know, you're a little chic. Like you're getting served like a king. It's a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's
It's like I can like cut my own slice.
I'm
like
good.
I don't need to like
Don't. Yeah.
peel. You know, I can peel my own
Fine.
orange.
Yeah.
You know, like hand that thing over and give me a knife. Like I can get my hands dirty.
Yeah.
And by the way, this is all happening, and the neighborhood butcher came in with his sharp knives. And by the way, it's scary because he's doing like...
Wait, they hadn't already...
It happened mid-show. It was like halftime show.
During dinner, they're going to kill the thing?
This is like lunchtime. So like, it's like we're snacking, we're doing... They haven't... So that's why we're not eating any meat yet.
It's like the equivalent of like, hey, we're snacking. Let's put the lobsters in the fucking...
Right.
Because we're going to eat in about 4 hours.
Yes. Like, let's start this. But instead of like just putting lobsters in like boiling water or something, it's like a butcher walks in. For some reason, he was wearing white clothes. I didn't get it. Maybe it's symbolic, but like, hey man, like your clothes are stained now. You can't wear those again.
Stained with what?
Blood.
With blood. Oh, yeah.
His shoes, everything, man. And then he just drags the goat out, and you can just tell like it's not his first rodeo. Like he's dragging that thing. He doesn't really care. He's got the next one to do. And I want to say they're supposed to do a prayer. It was all kind of rushed. I was like, what's going on? And then there goes the head. And then quick skinning.
You
and
just fucking...
first slit the throat, you know, and they kind of give it a second to like, yeah, it does like this little thing. And you're like, oh, you kind of like wince, but everybody else is like, sweet, meat for the week. That's how you got to reframe this thing. It's like, yeah, they're killing a cute animal, but also like...
No one else is weirded out by it.
Nobody else. I mean, like I said, there's that little girl, and she was like right up there, front line ticket. Like she was like not flinching at all. And it's making sounds and stuff. So I did this in Sardinia too, but it's just like totally like, hey, like this is, how else do you get meat? Like, and thinking of it like that, like that's probably better than going to Costco or Walmart and buying something that's been in a plant. Like at least they're connected to know like this is how you get meat. So, but I didn't really understand why they did it in the kitchen. That was kind of funny. It's like, hey, there's probably better. Yeah, it's like now we have to clean this,
dude.
Because also like shits while you're like cutting it. It's like
shits.
Yeah, it's shit all over, like
Makes
all over.
sense.
I
Makes
remember
sense. I wouldn't
on
have
his
expected it,
sandals-
but makes sense.
On his sandals, I'm like, and he didn't even like flinch. He's just like, there's just a little more on the sandals now. But it made a mess, and it's like, shouldn't we have taken this maybe like outside? But then you want it close, like the kitchen, and I guess I don't know. They chopped the hooves, the head. I guess that got delivered at some point to the barbecue guys.
Go grill that shit up.
Go grill that up
Bring
so
it
we
back.
can have it. Because the meat, so they hang the meat, and they're like, okay, now it needs some time to detensify. Like you can't eat the meat right away because it's the hormones. There's too much hormones in the meat, so it doesn't taste good. It's too tense. So you let it sit for a while.
Yeah.
So that's going on. Like, that was like a halftime show. Like we all left the couch, watched it in the kitchen, and then came back. And then it became a thing of, well, they said they want to go to the mosque. I'm like, okay, that's like what we do midday. Like,
Is this like a prayer as part of
yeah,
the...
that's what I
Eid?
thought. Because I heard like you go at certain points of the day on Eid, it's important to go to the mosque. And so I was down.
Christmas prayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was in, by the point, by the way, I'm in like a jalaba at this point.
Yeah.
Like they gave me, some garments to wear. So I'm fully in. And I'm like, yeah, I'll go to the mosque, especially when I'm looking like this. Like I got my little, I got a dress on.
Yeah.
I'm looking pretty fly. Like it's better than my polo. And something felt off though. And I don't know what gave it away, but I'd be like, let me just call my friend real quick.
So you think they're giving her to you?
It's
But do they say anything?
like they did everything but say that. So it's like she's sitting by me, she's serving me. They're sitting on the other side. They're all giggling. They're speaking in the I forget the name, but so it's like there's a Moroccan dialect of Arabic.
Okay.
And you don't understand what they're saying, but in those scenarios, like I understand what you're saying. Like you guys aren't just giggling, looking at us like that for just giggling to look at us like that.
Look at these lovebirds. Yeah. You know how they are. Young love,
just
man.
like young love. Love at first sight.
Jesus.
And so I called my buddy just to kind of clarify the situation, who speaks the language, and I handed the phone to the guy in the room. They talked, took my phone back, and the guy's like, hey, you're going to the mosque right now to convert to Islam? And I go, no, I'm going to go say a few prayers. He goes, no, the guy is saying that you're going to convert to Islam so that, because you need to convert to Islam before you marry his sister is what he's saying. He's like, oh yeah, and you're like, what's going on there? I'm like, wait a second. Like, A, I'm not converting to Islam right now. Like, let me do some research. B, I'm definitely not marrying his sister. She's cute and the cakes were incredible. But like, it's like,
No, has nothing to do with the level of cakes. Honestly, the cakes would have got me there. It's nothing
I'm
to do with that.
I'm not going to lie. They got me close, man. Like, just,
Like, wait, so she would make these like forever?
Are these like a weekly thing?
How much did the mom help?
Bi-weekly?
I want to know how much the mom helped. If this is her or what?
That's a good note. Like, was the mom...
Did I see you cook this? Or
did
did they just give it
like,
to you to give to me?
Good note. You'd have to check into that.
Yeah.
Also, before you convert, do research. Before you got to see who's making the cake, do research.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. And so I go, like, that's not the situation. I'm telling my friend. He's like, no. He's like, you're in trouble. Like, that is the situation. And I go, okay, explain to them as nicely as you can, as respectful as possible, that I appreciate, like, being here and meeting everybody, but I just came to kind of experience this feast.
I'm not going to convert.
I'm like, I'm not going to convert. I'm not going to marry a girl.
No offense
today.
to Islam. No offense to the marriage institution in general. I don't know if I'm a marriage type.
I'm kind of like, my persona of being a guy that bounces town to town is like probably the opposite of what.
This is what you want, bro.
Yeah.
I'm here to knock people up and not and not get found.
Yeah. So it became that scenario, and then my excuse was,
yeah, your father was an Irish or Canadian or something.
Yeah, it's just like
that's the story of you.
Yeah,
you
it's like I don't really know.
Bill, Jim, I don't know.
He was supposed to be cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's traveling, man. And I just told them, I said, hey, like,
I can't. No way.
But they didn't buy that. That's the thing. Just like when I said, I told them I cannot convert to Islam today. I need to do some research. Their response was, by the way, at this point, my friend, he's like, you got to deal with this. I got to go to my party. Hung up. And so we're pulling this in translator. We're going back and forth. I said, I need to do research before I convert to Islam.
Like Google Translate?
Google Translate. Okay. Pass it back. Couple minutes.
Pass it back. I can't do this. I need to
do research.
I need to do research.
I think
Yeah, you've just sprung this on me.
That was a good excuse. Like, let me do some research.
That is a good excuse.
I thought
that
so
should
too.
Work.
And then the phone gets passed back, and I look, and it's do research after. It's better that way. And I'm like,
that's also a good response.
It's good.
That's a good response.
That's a good counter.
You'll learn as you go. What?
Yeah, like figure it out. It all flows, man. Like, what do you do in that situation?
I saw a Quora. You know Quora?
Like the animated? Oh,
no, on the internet, you ask questions.
Oh,
people
yeah,
answer.
yeah, sure.
And it was like about here because I was coming here, and they go like, "How do I find a cafe in Paris?"
You googled that?
I was no. I was looking for things to do in Paris.
Okay.
That was one of the things I saw.
Okay.
And the answer was like, "Oh, dude, it's not like that. Just go outside." He goes, "No, but I want to see where." Because, dude, it's really not like that. Literally, go outside and just walk 40 seconds, and you'll see a cafe. And so it was like, wait, why am I saying that about you?
marriage, goats getting slaughtered.
Oh no, they're like, oh no, dude, that's not the way to. Don't worry about getting a cafe ahead of time in your
right.
Google Maps. Just like, don't worry about the.
Don't worry.
No, yeah.
Do
You
it,
should learn
yeah.
that. It's a lifelong of learning.
Yeah.
There's no.
It's a good.
Don't let that
counter.
slow
It's
you
like,
down.
Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
okay. But also, I don't want to convert to Islam because it was also in 30 minutes. Like, that's the service. Like, we're going to go at this service. And, like, you're already dressed for it, like, good. And it's like, no. Like, now I'm a little uncomfortable. Like, I don't want to. Yeah. I'm just like, no, I can't. So then I plug in my phone, like, hey, your sister's really nice. Her cakes are great.
Yeah, cakes. Okay,
Cakes are
I want to
great.
be on the record here. Those cakes are fucking bomb.
I actually did put that in the translator at one point. I made a note like her cakes because they were good, man. I don't know if it's because they're warm, the texture. It was just great. I remember putting that.
Fresh out of the oven, marriage cakes.
I'm like, is this weird to say? But no, her cakes were awesome.
Yeah.
And I just told them because my mom's from Syria. I said, hey, listen, my mom has a woman I'm promised to in Syria, which is bullshit, but. They were like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
They took that.
Yeah, they're like, is she Muslim?
Smart, bro.
Is she Muslim? I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, yeah, duh. This girl doesn't exist, right? So, and they were like, okay. And the girl, I looked at the girl at that point, obviously.
Yeah.
And she looked disappointed, but not like crushed. She was like a disappointed, like, wait, how many times has she done this? So then it was like kind of a little bit heavy.
Like, fuck. All right.
Because like her family was, her mom was excited. Because this family was like not a wealthy family. Like to put on this thing, it was a big deal. And if they get one person in the family, just get a visa and get out of there, changes the game.
They could call for the rest.
They could, you can wire money, you can wire dollars over.
Right.
It's like you
A
can
few
leave
bucks
this,
probably goes a
you
long
can
way
leave this
there.
mountain town.
Yeah.
And that's where it took like a weird turn. Not a weird turn. It was just like a real turn. It's like, okay, like this is the situation. Like we have to do this because the guy was then plugging things in the translator. Like, okay, is there any other way you can help us? Like, do you have a business? Can you hire me in the U.S.? Do you have any sisters? Do you have any girls that can marry me?
Who's saying this?
The guy. He's like, can I
The
marry?
brother?
He's like, do you have anybody in the States that I can marry?
And
He's
you're
like anybody.
Dude, there's like 100 million women.
And it was kind of weird. I was like, even if there was one, I don't know legit. Like she would have to come over here
But
and like meet you.
Yeah, she has to meet you. In my country, we got to meet ahead of time.
Yeah, like you got to kind of.
They're not all just like looking for husbands.
Yeah.
They are, some of them, but like it ain't just like anyone willing.
Yeah.
They're like more discerning than that in my country. And I guess I have to explain to you this whole mentality of discernment.
But
wow,
it just doesn't.
dude.
It's just not how it's processed.
God damn, Zane. Yeah.
So you're sitting there and you're enjoying this cake, and then it's like convert to Islam, no. Get married, no. And then it's like, okay, now you're in this weird position. Like, okay, there's a goat hanging over there. Sheep. I don't even remember. Goat. Sheep. It was a sheep. It's like hanging in the corner. It's dripping blood. And you're sitting there in a jalaba, and you're like, how? Like, what is the next step here?
Yeah.
Do you stay for dinner? Like, all right, are you staying? Like, you're at this point. Are you going to prolong it and just be like, okay, I'll kick it here for the day?
You ever go when you were like 10, 12, 13 years old, and you go over to a friend's house, and he gets into a vicious argument with his brother, and then leaves the table, and you're just stuck there going like, am I still eating?
Dad says some weird comment, like,
Yeah.
he's like,
Fuck you! I hate this family! And you walk out and you're like, hey, dude, that puts me in a real weird spot.
like, thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, like, I'm a guest. Can you hold this? Yeah. Yeah. It's like that.
Yeah, it's exactly like that.
Jesus Christ.
It's just an awkward situation
Yeah.
with the higher stakes than like, the teenage boy running to the other room to play some music, get over his emotions. It's like they want to marry.
Blasting POD.
Yeah. It's like, same concept.
Yeah.
But she just looked at me and she just like, I could tell that maybe this doesn't happen 20 times, but from what I saw, it was like, okay, this isn't her first rodeo.
Okay.
Like she's maybe taken 2 or 3 no's before. But the family was like the mom especially, I remember, because the mom had cancer too. And it was like a whole deal of like, there's no hospital here and we don't have money. The younger sister I'm talking about. So there was another sister in between the girl I was going, quote unquote, well, the girl I was going to marry. Okay, the younger sister. There was another one in between. She came in the room later, and the brother was plugging in text about like explaining like who this third sister was. And at one point, she hated the situation in this home so much, the poverty and just being. And this isn't like proper Chefchaouen. This isn't like inside the Medina walls. This is like, because if a backpacker listens to this and they're like, oh, I was in Chefchaouen, like it's not like you're picturing it like disparity. Like, well, just get outside the city walls. Okay, that's where I was. And she was 14 or 15. At 13, she smuggled herself onto a truck and held onto the bottom of a truck that drove onto a ferry and went to like some island in Spain just because she hated her life. And eventually they got her, shipped her back. But it was like at 13, she did that with the neighbor in the apartment, like another young kid. And they're like, let's just get out of here. So they're, it's like they're telling me these stories and they're also asking for help. And you're also like, well,
dude, I'm a backpacker.
Like, I could give you some money, I guess. It's a weird situation.
Yeah, it's a weird situation.
Yeah.
It's not. You've never been in that situation.
Not a weird. Yeah, just like this is
unique.
This is new waters to navigate.
Yeah.
I gave some money. I did.
How much you give him?
150 dirhams.
2 dimes and
no,
a
like
nickel.
$15, and they were really happy. Yeah. He's like, I like pulled it out, and he's like, give it to my mom, and she was like, thank you so much.
So the brother asked?
He didn't ask for money, no. But I'm like, I pulled it out. I'm like, here, man. Like, I think you should have like for the meal and everything. Like, because I know like some work went into this, and I'm not kind of holding up my end of the bargain.
Right.
He's like, give it to my mom, and she was like, thank you. So it was the right move.
We had you here for free because you were going to do this thing. You're not doing this thing, so
didn't hold up your end of the deal.
Can you at least, yeah.
Yeah. So that was that day. I didn't stay for dinner. No.
You left?
I left.
Too uncomfortable. What did the brother want?
The brother wanted a wife. He just wanted to get out of there. At one point when I'm leaving.
Can I get out of here? That makes sense.
He goes, he plugs, this is all translator. So it's not like we're just having a conversation, like things are just spewing. There's a few drinks. No, it's like, he's like thinking. He's like, what do I type in here? This is like a chance for me. Like, this is like my one shot. Not one shot, but like one of my few shots. Pass the phone over.
This is what that Eminem song was all about.
This is now I get it. Yeah. I get it now. I was in Morocco, and that's now I understand.
Outside Chefchaouen.
And one of his messages was, "I hate it here. My life, my life is miserable. Please, can you help me?" And I'm just looking at my phone. Yeah, it was just kind of heavy.
Fuck, dude.
So I'm like, yeah, I want to get you out of here, for sure. Because then it's like a thing of like I was backpacking through their country for 5-6 weeks, and I've been to more cities than they have. And that was really uncomfortable when we figured that out. Because like, where have you been? I'm like, oh, I've been here and here. They're like, oh, I've only been to here.
God damn, their world is small.
Yeah. And we don't even think about it. Well, most people don't think about it. Because like, we can
they
bounce
haven't
in.
even been to their country.
We can go for a weekend. We can bounce out. We're in a new world. And they're like, wait, like they were talking about their big trip coming up. It was 100 kilometers away, like an hour away. I don't know what that is, an hour away on the coast. And they're like, we're so excited. Like we do this each year. Like this is the city we go to. Like that's their vacation spot. And they're like, but I've never been to Essaouira. Like that's way down there, and that's trains and buses you have to take, and that's expensive. And with this family, and where do we stay? And that was uncomfortable. That was really uncomfortable. Then they asked for my Instagram at one point. And so now they're seeing pictures of me in different countries.
Being rich.
Yeah.
To them, You're like,
just
what?
like, oh, wait, he's been to X, Y, and Z?
Are you holding a bottle of Coca-Cola?
Like
what?
Yeah, like I have some pictures. My family does big feasts.
Right.
I have a big family. My mom has like 7 siblings, Middle Eastern. So like when we eat. And they, they all work, they worked hard, and they were in the States, and they had the opportunities.
Sure, yeah. I mean,
and they're showing like, so like they were clicking, they had my phone. I wanted to like pull it away because they were clicking through stuff, and they're looking at these feasts. And at the same time, I'm saying like, I can't help you. Like, I don't have a job for you.
But
they're like, wait a second, man.
Can.
Like,
you can obviously you can change our lives.
Yeah.
That's
And
crazy.
that's
to
the
a
feeling.
backpacker.
That's the feeling. It's like you could change their lives.
Just marry her,
Like
dude.
But even with like a certain amount of money, you could just be like, here's something like just like $500.
Wait, can you just
That
cut
would
your
change-
backpacker trip short and change our fucking lives forever?
That's the reality. Like, okay,
It's not that much for you. Just go back. You're
like-
going back to America anyway.
like skip a month somewhere.
Yeah.
And like help my family.
Don't take a writing class in Paris.
Right. Like the amount we paid for this class would have been like,
That's it. Retirement.
oh, this week in Paris I could have done 6 months in Morocco.
Wow.
And 1 week in Paris. So, it's just like, and there's a lot of parts of the world that are like that. And you go to those parts and you're like, oh, wow. And we have these conversations and you kind of leave and you kind of forget about it. That's the weirdest thing about it. Is like, you kind of have to be.
So how'd you get out of
reminded
there? What'd you do?
again.
Yeah, right. You have to be reminded.
You
Like,
kind of have to be reminded. Like I've been to some places like that before. And I was like, oh, I'm going to remember this. And then it's like I was in that situation again. And I'm like, wow, I forgot how lucky I am to have like a blue
I
passport.
did not remember. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's that privilege thing. I know we're going long, but fuck.
It's good to go long.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. So, I mean, I got.
How'd you get out of there? What was the end of
I
it?
think I said that. Well, I did tell them about the writing class. I'm like, hey, I have some writing to do. I think that's what it was.
Did you walk back to your hostel?
Yeah, I just like walked back. And they were just like kind of all in it. They were like, okay, like after that point where I'm like, I'm not converting to Islam. I'm not marrying your daughter. It was like, okay, like this guy's like great. Like let's feed him. Like let's take care of him. But like he's not.
The mood changed.
Yes.
He's not our savior.
The mood changed. Like the girl didn't take as good as care of me. Like she was like, didn't refill my tea or something.
Wow.
That's the example.
And you're like, I thought.
You're like, hey,
It's
like
got
magic.
Only
but-
2/3 of a glass in here.
Yeah. Like I'm almost down to my last sip.
Yeah. Like,
It's kind of weird. Yeah, so
wow.
that was like the story of Eid
In Chefchaouen.
and Chefchaouen.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
So that night,
that night. Yeah.
did you jerk off?
No.
You went to bed without jerking. Yeah. That's probably smarter.
Yeah. Also, like sharing a bunk.
Oh, yeah.
A lot
you
of
can't
people in the
jerk off.
room.
You can't jerk off in hostels. It's shower only.
Yeah. Although I've been in hostel rooms where guys are definitely yanking one out and just like, dude, like,
Go to the shower.
not the place, not the time.
Fuck in the shower.
Nothing
Go
about
to-
this is
It's sexual.
like, how are you even activated right now? Like, there's 12 other guys in this room.
And you're just like,
Just like it's not even subtle. It's like I can
can
see your
feel it.
one sheet moving. Like I'm 2 bunks
you're not
above
just
you.
randomly sleeping with your feet up in a V so you can create a space. With your,
It's like I can hear through your headphones, man. Turn that shit down.
you're listening to pornography.
It's like turn it down.
Down, play it
Please,
on a
I'm like
one.
trying to sleep. It's like I get it, but
I was trying to not jerk off while I was traveling. I was like, let me just not, so I'll be more social and try to get out there. And after like a month or two of that and not getting laid, it was like pent up. And then some German dudes fucking in a bunk, not above me, but next to me and up. And they're just fucking, but lightly, like, just like,
yeah, like snuggling, heavy breathing.
but shh. And they keep saying that, and I'm just like, God damn it, you guys!
I know you're doing.
I can't sleep already.
I was telling you, similar. Like there was a place in Mexico City. It was like 3 bunks high, and the people on the bottom. I was on the top. People on the bottom were going at it, and I'm like, "Whoa!" Like I'm gonna have to grab onto something like this. There's like some. It's not a lot of movement, but each
Feels like a
bunk,
fucking boat to Antarctica.
Yeah, it's like it's like swaying more.
Yeah.
Just let me climb down.
Damn. Well, that was fucking great. It makes me want. I really want to go to Morocco with all of you having been there. I wish I didn't have a dog to take care of, but I really want to go, and that's maybe my next trip.
Have a good excuse ready, just in case you get invited to a
Yeah.
party. And there's a girl with flowers in her hair. Because
They're
you're
like,
going to need a good
I'm
excuse.
a homosexual, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, we'll kill you." Then I'm like, "Fuck, shit."
See, you got to think it
Yeah, okay, think this through. Don't get caught in the spot. They're like, oh, sweet. That gives us a chance to fulfill another good deed.
It's like, score. 2 birds, 1 stone. Actual stone.
All right, Zane. Zane, where can people find you on, like, if they want to tell you, like, good job, that was fucking great?
Instagram, just like first name last, Zane Jarecke.
Jarecke. Don't I say just first name last when your last name is Jarecke? Zane, I think almost every one of my listeners can spell.
Yeah. Well,
Let me
no
just
Y
spell.
in
Let me
there.
try it.
Okay.
Juresky.
Ouch. What about my first name?
Zane.
Yeah, but how do you spell that?
Zane.
Okay, well, some people throw an I in there. Some people throw a Y. It's Zane. Let's
Okay.
just keep it like straight up.
Zane.
Jarecke, Jareske.
Jarecke.
It's that Polish stuff, man.
Jarecke.
Jarecke.
It could have been a DJ, to be honest.
Jareske.
It could have been DJAR.
There could have been if we're getting
Jarecke.
really funky.
Yeah. Jareske.
ECKY.
Wait. What is it?
Wait, what?
Zane is Zane. What
Yes.
is Jarecke? Jareski.
Real sports. I'm still thinking of ESPN. What is that?
EA Sports. It's in the game.
game.
Jaresky.
Dude,
What? Wait.
Okay.
Jarecke.
Zane. That's the name.
Zane.
J.
Jar.
ECKE.
Jarecke?
Jarecke, man.
You left out the S.
There's no S. It's a CK, Polish style.
Jarecki.
Yeah, that's the dad's side.
Jarecki.
Yeah, that's
Zane
how people
Jarecke.
butcher it.
Zane
Yeah,
Jarecke.
like,
Zane Jarecke.
butcher it all you want. But yeah, my Instagram.
All right.
It's
Tell
kinda
him
like all I
said
got
hi.
right
Maybe we'll
now.
still be traveling, hopefully.
Oh, I plan on it, man. Making a lap around the world.
What do you think, time-wise? What do you think you got?
I think like 2 years, 3 years is good.
Oh, you're gone.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah, on a
Great.
handful of dollars.
Oh, I thought you had like 2, 3, 4 months.
No,
Oh, you're gone.
This is month 4 right now.
Hell yeah. That's...
Because too long, you're like, okay, that guy's like off the deep end, kind of. Like, what's the
Yeah.
longest you've gone?
6 months, maybe?
Ooh,
6 months in Ecuador, one country.
wow. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, staying in one place for half a year.
Country, though, not staying in one town and
Okay.
getting a job, you know?
Okay.
But that would be cool, too. All right.
Well, anyways, yeah, we could keep going,
Yeah.
but we won't.
Zane Jarecke. Well, good luck in your travels. Thanks.
Same to you.
This has been You Be Trippin'.
You be tripping. We're tripping.
All right, guys. Well, that's the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Man, what a fucking interesting trip. So as you know, I'm going to do more of these remotes from wild places in the world. This is from a youth hostel in Paris, France. I got some coming from a town square in Cluj-Napoca, Romania, in front of a mural in Sydney, Australia. I'm trying to think where else I do it. But I want to do these from all over. I don't want to just do them from a studio, either in Austin or in New York. I want to do it from wild places. And I hope you guys are game for it. Subscribe right now wherever you're watching. You can see me on the road at nowhere because I'm done until 2025. Please follow Zane Jarecke. Subscribe to him right now on YouTube. Zanejarecke. He's a fucking interesting man that I met in Zane Jarecke. Yeah. That I met in Paris, France, in a writing seminar by Rolf Potts. We did a writing class there together. It was fucking fun as shit. We hit it off. This one time we spent fucking, 30 minutes watching these crazy dancers in front of the Opera House. Different than this Opera House in Sydney, Australia. We were watching the Opera House in Paris, France. We just watched all these dancers, and we were with somebody else, and she was like, I gotta go. We're like, good luck to you. We just sat there watching for a while. It's fun. It's fun the fucking friends you meet when you're traveling, huh? It really is. This was wild. That Eid ceremony and fucking having to come up with an excuse to not get married off into a local family is fucking wild. And that's what this podcast is all about. Please subscribe. I should be at 100,000 subscribers now. I'm at 50. Make it 60. Right now, wherever you're listening or watching, just right now, hit the subscribe button. It'll make me happy. I don't want much from you, but I want that. It'll make me happy. Go to my merch page, AriShaffir.com. Get some grinders, the vinyls of a special Ari Shaffir Jew. Only 1,000 made. Go ahead and get those. And I think that's it. Oh, Shroomfest shirts are available. They'll be shipping out in July. Shroomfest this year is July 20th, 21st, and 22nd. And Lee and Gwyn at Abracadabra on Instagram has made some amazing new shirts that you can celebrate and commemorate the issue. Shroomfest. If you don't know what it is, you don't know what it is. It's just an excuse to do mushrooms. He made some fucking cool shirts. I'm not taking any of the profits. He is, and he's given, I think, 10 or 20 or 30 or 40% of it. 10% maybe? 20? I don't know. To MAPS, Multidisciplinary Association of Psychedelic Studies. Yeah, it's just a fun time. AriShaffir.com right now /merch for everything. And that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Hope you enjoyed listening to this fucking wild story of fucking Morocco. God, I want to go to Morocco. When I was in Paris, there were so many flights there. You could see like flights to 3 different cities in Morocco. And I'm like, God, I want to go so fucking bad. But I had a dog to get back to, so I couldn't go. Not proud of it. Should have gone. I got to do some long-term traveling right now. Guys like Zane and some other people I met in that class by Rolf Botts, they were doing it, man. They were really doing it. I was jealous. The Sydney Opera House. Why is this a fucking iconic spot when literally no one I know who goes to opera? So why is this the spot? Right over there, you can't see it, is a bridge. And right there, right up there, I shit myself. I had diarrhea, and I shit myself. Anyway, that's the kind of shit I get into. Guys, until next week, As-salaam Alaykum. I'm guessing on that one. Bye, everybody. Fuck!